right there. So welcome, and share the life. Welcome to this life. If you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals build real wealth the right way. So welcome here, and share and invite your friends over. Awesome. So this is about if you have been wondering how to invest, you don't know how to get started, or you are too afraid to get started, or you think you need so much to get started. This is for you. Welcome here. Let's talk about it. Let us get it started. Welcome here. And by the way, let me know where you're connecting from. Let me know where you're connecting from. Good afternoon, all the way from Texas because Central Time. So welcome. How are you? If you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology, and I help professionals turn their income into real wealth. So welcome here, and how are you? So if you've been trying to invest, you don't know how to get started, this is definitely for you. You want to come around, stick around, invite your friends that want to invest, don't know how to go about it, and let's get it started. It's a strategy that is going to help you grow wealth. It's going to help you grow your money, because if you just keep your money in the savings account, you see that you're not growing it. All right, welcome, and if you have not subscribed, do that as well, just so you do not miss any of the information that I put out there. So a lot of times you see that, people would say that, you know what, I'm not growing my money. I want to invest. I don't know how to get started. I'm not growing my money. Things are happening and all of that, right? I feel stuck financially, and they don't know how to go about it. And that's why I'm having this live today, because this is definitely going to help you. So share the live, invite your friends, and let's get it started, because this is going to be very simple. Very simple. It doesn't require you to invest to start with so much. It just requires your income. It's the simplest way possible to invest, and you can actually start it today. Sarah Gander, welcome, and share this life with your friends. Welcome, Royal Empire. Welcome here. Everyone joining, welcome here. And if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina, Doctor of Business and Technology, and I do help professionals turn their 9 to 5 into real wealth. So if that's your goal, welcome here. And at the same time, we're talking about investing, how you grow your money, because that's the only way you do it, and that's what we're talking about. So subscribe if you haven't, and welcome here, Veronica Sanchez. Welcome, and let's invite our friends. Subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to get to at least 20 subscribers today, and I tell you, it just takes nothing for you to subscribe, but you have so many things to benefit. And when you subscribe, when you follow, when you do all of that, you have so many things to benefit from, because I have great information that's going to help you not just to help you grow your wealth, but it's also going to gain you financial freedom. Okay. So today is about, if you ever want to start investing, you don't know where to get started, how to get started, this is for you, because I'm going to break it down simple, easy, all of the things that are your fears, like what does it require? How come people are losing money in the stock market? How can I protect my money? All of those things are the things that we're going to get started. So if you are ready, comment start, put start in the comment section. Hi, Saint, how are you? Welcome. Where are you connecting from? And if you haven't subscribed, do that, and we get it started. Invite your friends. How can you grow your money? Because except you do not like to build wealth, but if everyone, I believe everybody wants to grow wealth, right? Because you realize one thing is, or if you just put your money in the bank, it is just getting you 0.01%. But from India, you are in India. Welcome here. How are you today? Thank you for joining. I'm in Texas, in the United States. So it's so good to have you. Subscribe if you haven't. Today we're talking, and this is, like, whatever we're talking about, it's universal, right? Currency, money is universal across board, right? It is very universal. Confidence, welcome here. How are you? Happy Friday. How was your week? Welcome. Thank you for tapping out the live. There's confidence. Thank you so much for doing that. Awesome. So let's go straight into it. Investing. What do we mean about investing? one way that you can, whenever you make money, okay, it always starts with your income, right? It starts with your income. Whatever thing that you're doing, you probably have a skill that you have, right? Maybe you learned it in school or whatever, or you got a trade or something, right? But whenever you make money, you need to ensure that you do one thing. And today is my birthday. I want to say, that's amazing, Sense. Happy birthday to you. I'm also an April born. That's absolutely amazing. So good to have you. So subscribe. For those that are just joining, we're talking about investing, and let's wish set a happy birthday on the YT side and on the TikTok side. Thank you for tapping it out as well. Really appreciate that. Tammy, welcome. Confidence, thank you for tapping it out. And just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina, Doctor of Business. Ellen, welcome, 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 welcome. Let me know where you're connecting from. Welcome and welcome, and subscribe if you haven't. Try to subscribe because you have so many things to benefit from here rather than losing. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's just one click away, and guess what? You have access to so many information that is going to help you grow your wealth, help you build your wealth, make you more happy, make you more happy. Everyone loves wealth. And whenever I talk about wealth, I talk about time wealth, I talk about peace wealth, I talk about health wealth, and of course, I also talk about money wealth. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. You all are subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed, do that. For the other 14 or 13 people that we have right there, do that. And Confidence, thank you for tapping out the live. Really, Mayalistic, welcome, welcome. Let's also share. We have both the TT community and the YT community. So in case you are seeing that I'm mentioning names and you are not seeing it, or I'm saying something different, that's because we have two communities at the same time. So today is about investing. How do you get to invest? Understanding that there are so many things that happens when it comes to invested. A lot of times people get to one of the things that is very common is when people say invested, it's like, oh, you know what, that's a way for me to lose my money, right? That's one thing. Or the other thing that you hear is that, oh, I don't have the money that requires for investing. It takes a lot of money to invest. Or you know what, I don't just know how to invest, right? Those are things that you hear every single time. But these are myths that are not totally true, especially the last one that says, oh, it requires a lot of money to get started with investing. Absolutely not. With $1, with whatever is your currency, how much is your currency, you can start investing with that. So you do not need so much to invest. Okay, you just need the right education and the right places to put your money. So, and one other thing I always say is that whenever you have your funds, do always think about, no matter how small, so far you pay taxes even in that your little income, you should also put some money aside towards investing, because that's the only way you can buy back your time. Adam, welcome. And Maya Listic, we're trying to tap it out to 10,000 the first 10 minutes so that we can get to the FYP. And we're also trying to get to the 20 subscribers on the YouTube. And if you haven't followed, follow there. And if you haven't subscribed, do that. It costs you nothing, but you gain so many things. So always think about this. How do you, if you want to grow your money, or you want to get freedom, because I talk about freedom, you want to get freedom, you want to grow your money, it's two things that you have to do. Number one is you have to develop the habit of saving, right? For you to not use all your money, put some of it aside towards saving, right? You use some of it to pay bills, but at the same time you put some aside towards investing. Okay, so what does this mean? The first thing is, because when you put some of it aside towards saving, what that's going to help you to do is you are putting some for safety net, you are putting some for the rainy day. However, if all that you do is to save, and you only save, you're not going to grow your money. It's going to be safe, you have money as safety net, but it's not going to grow. So how do you grow your money? It is done through investing. However, so think about it: save, invest. However, if you only save, you don't grow your money, right? But it's going to be safe, but you don't grow it. On the other side, if you for you to grow it, you need to invest. But when you invest, you can also lose your money. You can not just, you can lose the all the money, like the both the principal and the interest. You can lose everything. Okay, so how then do you save and invest, okay, and not lose the money? That is what we're about to talk about. It is called something called smart investing, right? Smart investing, right? That is how you grow your money without losing it, right? Because if you only save it, like I said, it's going to be saved, but you will be losing money. How do you lose money? Just the money sitting in the bank because it's not touched, it's protected. The way you lose money when the money is in the bank is through inflation. There's something called inflation based on the economy, right? The inflation is it's the rate at which the money currency loses value. That's what inflation is. So based on that, it is, you don't have any control over it. Nobody has control over it. But the control that you have over it is when you take that money and you invest it, then you hedge against the risk of inflation because you are growing it. You are not just keeping it. Inflation takes about 3.5%. Like in the United States right now, it's about 3.3% right now. It means that, and what does this mean? It means that yes, you are looking at that money in the bank, but that money that you have here is losing whatever your purchasing power, right? Reduces every single year by that percentage. So if you take that money that you use, the money that, let's say you took $100 last year to the store, this year you can only it's no longer $100. You only have $96.50 thereabout of or 70 cents, because inflation has taken about $3 out of it. So how then do you do it such that your savings is not, you are not losing it, right? Just think about it. Every single year you are losing 3.5% every single year. It gets to a certain point, the money becomes zero. So how then do you grow it such that you don't lose the money, but you are growing it, right? Just to edge against inflation, but also build wealth in the process. That is what is called smart investing. That's the strategy that I talk about. It's not a it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a steady way of building wealth, right? But it is also secured, right? Growing. So it's more growth and security. That is what it is, right? So if you ask so many people, so why do you not invest? If you ask them, the first thing that you hear is, you know what, I am confused. I don't know where to get started, right? Those are things that I get in my DM every single day. I still got like 5 today in my DM where people are saying, Dr. Lina, I know you talk about this every time, but I don't know how to get started. Or I got confused, right? Because I don't know, am I supposed to do it in the bank? Or another thing I get is, which of the stock, right? Now I understand that, yes, I'm going to invest because I don't want to lose my money into inflation. But then you're like, okay, so which one should I buy? Or is it in the bank that I'll get it? Or they don't know how to get started. And they're like, okay, which stock? That's the other thing. That's why we're going to be talking about all of that right here. And for everyone that is here, let's keep tapping out the life. We're trying to get to 10,000 for every time people that come into my life. I always ask that, let's tap it. I know we are all locked in because it is about money. It's about wealth building. Everyone wants to, they're all locked in, taking their pen. Let's tap out the life and let's power share. Press the front of my forehead on the screen and your contact is going to come and you would share it with them. And if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology. I help professionals build wealth the right way. Okay. So if your goal is to grow wealth, right? And you might be wondering, Dr. Lina, I'm a serial investor as well. So I have been investing for close to 2 decades. So it's not something that I read in the book. It's something that I live by every day. Okay. So I have invested in the stock market the normal way that people always talk about. And I lost close to 100,000 about 6 years ago before I found the strategy, and which has given me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that is what I am sharing with you, because this is the same strategy that the multimillionaires and the billionaires get to use. You can also go and check it online and see, where does the multimillionaires and the millionaires, where do they put their money? This is one of the strategy that you would hear right there. Onyebuchi, welcome. Come Glam, welcome. And let's Tammy, welcome. Thank you for tapping out the live. We want to get to 10,000 taps in the first 10 minutes so that we can get on the FYP, get more people in here, because the algorithm will identify us as it would show that you find the information valuable, and you are from there they are able to learn more. Oh, Mr. Ben, welcome. Tammy, thank you so much for tapping out the live. Thank you so much for tapping out the live. And if you can also share, press the screen, my forehead on the screen, share it with your contact, and let them all come and learn how to build wealth the right way. Awesome. Okay. Savings is not the right way. Just saving, inflation is eating your money. Investing is the right way, but you can also lose your money. So where is the thin line where you don't lose your money, but you are growing your money, but your child, the risk of losing it is pretty minimal? And that's what we're talking about. On YouTube, welcome all the people that just joined. We're talking about smart investing. So welcome here. Subscribe if you haven't. Click that subscribe button and turn on notification bell, because you have so many resources available for you that's going to help you grow your wealth. Okay, so the first thing, like I said, people are confused in starting to invest. Two is that people are too scared of losing their money. Of course, people work hard for their money and they do not want to lose it. Then the third thing is that they think it takes a lot of money. One, I agree with number one and two, which is you're confused, they don't know how to get started, they're afraid of losing their money. Why I agree with that, I do not agree with the last one, because that one is very clear. It requires a lot of money to start investing. You do not need a lot of money to start investing. With $1, gone are the days, right? Gone are the days. Years ago, you cannot. If you want to buy a stock, or you want to invest in the stock market, you better have that amount of money for that individual unit of stock for you to invest. However, with what we have right now, there's something called fractional shares, right? Fractional shares, even with your $1, with whatever amount. What's the time? The time here is 1:40 Central Time, 1:40 p.m. That's the time. I know people are joining. Let me know where you're connecting from. Subscribe if you haven't. So welcome here. So basically, you'd realize that so you can now invest with so much and okay, 21. Oh, you're in the midnight. Oh, wow. Okay, wow. And where you located? India? Okay. All right. And Mr. Ben has a question. What are you at the IU savings account that you recommend? Indiana. Okay, Tammy said Indiana. Welcome. Great. That's great. And let's keep tapping out the live. Let's get it to 10,000 likes as well, and subscribe on YouTube if you Bulgaria. Welcome, Bulgaria. Bulgaria. Alex on the budget is from Bulgaria. Is American Bulgarian. Oh, it's so good to have you. Subscribe, and it's so nice to meet you. And if any other person cares to share, let me know where you are all connecting from today. Let me know where you're connecting from. It's so absolutely amazing, because the world is a global village, right? I love to travel. I've been to 22 countries, so it's so beautiful to meet different people, because that diversity is what makes us all beautiful. I just leave here. Oh, that's beautiful. You should look into Alex on the portal. So Mr. Ben, thank you so much for so you said I use savings account. So let me quickly touch that, okay? Because it's one of the strategies. So for everybody that has just an account, you just have your account in Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo, or in your local country, whatever, all those big banks, whatever returns that you are getting from them, the basic like investment 101, right? Not that in short, because you're not losing anything, it's the same thing. It's something called high yield savings account. Just go and Google it. Why use savings account? It's a regular bank account, but the difference between it and your regular and your bank account right now is that your regular bank account is giving you 0.01%. However, there's some banks, right? It could be that your own bank, they also have those programs. They call it high yield savings account program, right? High yield savings account. Just ask them, check with your bank, all right? Or also also go online and see what are your savings accounts program. Difference is that your regular bank account is going to give you 0.01%. For perspective, if you put $10,000 a year, you get $1, right? However, with the IO savings account, you get between 3 to 6%, 5.5%, which is pretty beautiful, pretty considering that it's a regular bank account and you are not losing any money, right? You're not losing a dime, right? It's if you can put your money in this your normal account, then there's no reason why you will not put it in an IO savings account. Okay, so think about it that way. So the diff and this so Mr. Ben asked which of them. We can just go on Google right now and just set. You just basically check IU savings account in April 20, the best IU savings account in April 2026. And the first one that I know, Capital One is a good one. So if you're one of those people that like to go into the bank, you want something that's been laid out and all of this, Capital One gives you 3.3%. And then they also give you when you open the account and you connect. Hey Farah, welcome. Where you connect your you do a direct deposit, right, from your employer or from anywhere, direct deposit, you would realize that you will get they will give you $300 or $250, right? So that's like a promotion. That's free money. But think about it. If you have it in your Bank of America, Chase or Wells Fargo, you get 0.01, which is $1 a year. But if you open it in a Capital One, you get $330 on the same $10,000. Why is not the most efficient or the best return? But that's safety, right? It keeps your money safe, but you're also not losing money. You know what that really does there, right? IU savings account, like a Capital One, just helps you edge the inflation 100%. Remember, if you go right now, inflation is at 3.3%. They are giving 3.3%. So it means that your money is not growing, but at the same time, you are not losing your money while you're sure that your money is safe 100%. Because you are having it, if you keep 200 and up to 250,000, your money is protected up to 250,000 with FDIC in the United States. And there are so many of those protection elsewhere, okay? Elsewhere in other countries. So think about it. So Mr. Ben, Capital One is 3.3%. We have Vero as well. Vero is at 5%. We have SoFi is at 4%. It could have changed, okay? But the last time I checked, those three I talk about. Another one that you can also, there is so many of them. Marcos, there's Robinhood, there's American Express. You just need to go check them and see the one that works best for you. Look at their reviews and see that, okay, the review is great. And and basically what is I would always look at the reviews. Those are things that I do, and look at their interest. If you are one of those people that like a building and whatever, then you do Capital One. If you're okay with an online bank, then you do the online banks, right? Basically, if you want the link to Capital One, I can send it to you. But it's 3.3%, but you could get something higher. Another way that you can also get an IU savings account is you can check with your credit union. So for the credit union lovers, check with your credit union. Do they have high yield saving vehicles or programs? And then that is how you invest. But that is the basic way. That's the minimum. That because there's zero risk. Your money is not in the stock market. Your money is exactly in the bank account, and you get your interest and your returns every single month. Okay? Every single month is when you get your returns. It's not a whole year, every single month. Okay. So we should all, there's no reason, right? You are too afraid. You don't want to lose your money. The minimum is the IU savings account. Okay. IU savings account. Awesome. So having said that, if you now, like I said, IU savings account will help you still keep your money, but it doesn't grow. It's not growing it. And if you want to grow your money, for you to be able to build wealth and gain financial freedom, buy back your time, you require one thing. You need to grow your money, right? Katamato, thank you so for the follow, and everyone that just joined. If you haven't followed, now it's your time to follow. Now it's your time to tap out the live. And if you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology. I help professional and individual turn your 9 to 5 income into real wealth. Understanding that your income, if all that you use it to do is to pay bills, you realize that it's not growing, right? What should you do? How do you grow your money? You need to put them into investing in real estate, investing smartly in the stock market, right? Understand smartly, right? Because you could lose your money in either of the two investment. There is the risk whenever it comes to investing. Do not let anybody deceive you. So that's why I talk about here. I talk about generational wealth. I talk about cash flow. I talk about growth. I talk about financial freedom, because the goal is for you to grow your money, smartly, and not to lose it. Guaranteed, like, you do not lose the principal but grow it. So move all my money from checking account to IU savings account. Leave nothing in the checking account. Absolutely, and I say it with my full chest. Absolutely, the only thing that your checking account is for is your income account. So as a matter of fact, you should have four accounts, right? You should have four accounts, because you see, this thing that I just talked about, this four accounts, is maybe the reason why so many people are just they're losing money. It's not like you're not making a decent money. I have a client that was making about $14,000, but guess what? She's still in debt. After our session, she's clearing off her debt. She's able to clear off her debt in less than 2 months. And guess what? She is buying her first property by August or September. So that is what these four accounts you should have. The first account is your income account. That is where all of your income goes into. So like your salary, like that is the only time Mr. Ben, based on your question, that's the only time you have a checking account. Your salary goes into that account. But guess what? That account is a distribution center. Just think about it. A warehouse where the money goes into, but it is distributed by day 3, by day 4, right? The account should be almost zero by day 4, like little change, right, in the account, just to keep it afloat. The second thing, right? Okay, so what's the second account? The second account that you want to have is your bills account. So think about it, your four things, your four walls, your utilities, your rent or your mortgage, your groceries, and of course your transportation, so your car notes or your gas and all of those things. That is your bill account, right? Structure it this way, the way I'm explaining to you. Structure it this way, and you will see changes in your finances. You will see clarity in your finances, because you will be able to see, this is how much I'm spending on my bills. A lot of people don't know that. So you can do it on paper. That is budgeting. But make sure, for you to even make it better, actualize it. Execute it. Execution is what I'm saying. When you have that four accounts, you execute your budget. So you have your bill, the ways again, right? So the ways again, the first one is your income account. Income account is the first one, and you can make it a checking account, you can make it an IU savings account, but it's just a distribution center. That's where I'm going. It's just a distribution center. Income account, that's where your salary, all of your income goes into that account. But by day 3, send a bye and every other person that just joined, right? So your income account is the first account. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you all for tapping out the live. Your income is the first account, all right? But it's a distribution center. By day 3, by day 5 at the latest, it should almost be close to zero, right? And that's when you beat the banks to their game. And then the second account is your bills account, BIIL. So your expense account, your bills, your utilities, your rent or mortgage, which is housing, your transportation, car notes, gas, all of those things, Then the last one, of course, is your groceries and basically your living expenses. That is the four accounts, right, that you should have, right? The bills account, your income account can be a checking account, can be high yield savings account. It really doesn't matter because really it's going to be empty. It's a distribution center. The second account is your bills account. These are second accounts that you are basically paying all of your bills in here. The other thing with this account, I always recommend that you have a credit card attached to this account. A credit card. That's the only time you're having a credit card. The credit card is going to help you build your credit. But you are using that credit card instead of you having a debit card. You are having a credit card on this account because of safety. Because if there's a fraud on your bills account, remember this is going to be like a lot of activities going here, right? A lot of activities going here. If there's fraud on your debit card, it's going to change your finances. It's going to mess up your finances and you get into debt. What should you do instead? You have a credit card. If you use a credit card on the account, what you realize is that if there's fraud, you just call them. It's fraud. It's not me. You still have your money right there. The second thing that credit card does is that it helps you to build your credit, right? But the only thing is that you use the credit card is not bad. It's the wrong usage that is bad. When you use the credit card, you use it like a debit card because remember, let's assume that your bill is $5,000, right? Or $3,000 is your bill, for instance. You know that everything that you spend on that card cannot be more than 3,000, and you pay it within the billing cycle. Guess what? You have protection with that card. The second thing that you also have with it is also that you have some rewards. That is pretty minimal. But the two things that are very important is you build your credit, and of course, the second thing that is most important is the safety. And this is attached to your bills account. Okay? What are the IU savings account that you recommend again? Okay, I'll come back to it again. Let me finish this. Bills account is the second one. Income account is the first. Bills account is the second one. The bills account, you can also have it an high yield savings account. Have it high yield savings account and they get a credit card attached to it. Make sure that you are paying within billing cycle, and make sure that your utilization is also good. You are not making the utilization so great. Here you are going to be paying your rent or your mortgage from there. Here you're going to be paying your car notes from there. Here you're also going to be using the credit card for groceries and gas and groceries and gas and all of that. And then you're paying your utilities from this account. That's the second account, the bills account. The third account is what I call so I have the income account, I have the bills account, then I have, yes, the third account is your emergency funds account. And this one is an high yield savings account. Thank you, user. Thank you so much for the follow, and every other person that just followed. And let's keep tapping out the live. Let's get it to 10,000. Thank you so much for doing that. Yesterday we got to a 50,000, 60,000 tap. I believe we can beat that today. Let's keep tapping out the line. I know we are locked in. Income account, bills account. The third one is your emergency funds account. What does emergency mean? Emergency means simply the same thing. You see this income account, those four things I talked about, but here it's just saving of, you start with 1 month, then you increase it to 3 to 6 months. If you are a you're not an employee, you own your own business, you have all of that, you want to have 6 to 12 months, right? What does this mean? That your rent that you have in your bills accounts every month, that one is going to be, every month is going to be empty, right? Here, you're going to be saving that same value, but it's going to be for 3 months. Start with 1 month if you don't have anything at all, but increase it to 2 months, to 3 months, then increase it to 6 months. What does that help you to do? In case life happens, in case there's an emergency, in case there is a major car repair, in case there's a job loss, you have income to take care of your family for another 3 months. Remember, I talk about 4 types of wealth, right? That is part of the peace wealth that we talk about, because you can sleep with your 2 eyes open, 2 eyes closed, knowing that you have funds in your account in case there's a job loss, there's an income loss, and all of that. Happy Friday, Stephanie. Welcome. So basically, and that is how you build your wealth. Thank you so much for the daily admin. And for everyone, remember to get your daily admin right there. It just shows that you're enjoying this life. It shows that you find it valuable. And it's going to push us from a D1 League 99 to a 10% and push us to a C league. So let's keep tapping out the life. And also, if you can do some Go Populars, it gets us to the FYP. Can we did 50,000 taps yesterday. It doesn't cost you anything. Just tap, tap, tap. Let us tap it out so that some other people can come here and find it valuable. And also share, press my forehead on the screen, share it with your contact, and let them come and also learn how to build wealth the right way. So 4 accounts, because somebody, Mr. Ben asked the question, what account should I open? Number 1 is your income account. Number 2 is your bills account. And number 3, of course, is your emergency fund. Emergency fund is all those 4 things: housing, which is your rent, your rent or mortgage, your transportation, like your car note, your gas, your feeding, groceries, and all of that, and of course your utilities, the warm, the lighting, and all of that. So that is what that is. Okay, so, and this is for 3 months. You can start with 1 month if you don't have any saved at all, but increase it to 3 months, then increase it to 6 months. Awesome. Can we tap it out? Can we tap out the live? Tammy, Mayalistic, Stephanie, User, Issa, Lawal, El Shaddai, Ajay, Yay. Let's tap out the live. Mr. Ben, let's tap out the live. Then the last account, out of all of these that we have talked about, the last account is the only one that helps you to build wealth. The other ones, they're either for safety, or they are either for liabilities, which is like your bills or whatever, or the one that your distribution account where your money just come into. But the last one is the one that is most important, and that is the wealth account, which is very linked to what we're talking about today, smart investing, because it is, I call it the wealth account because that is the only account that helps you to grow your money. Only account. It's called the wealth account. And what is this wealth account? I call it's divided into 3, right? It's divided into 3. And by the way, your emergency fund is also going to be your IU savings account. So the only one out of all those 4 accounts, right, where you should have a checking account will just be your income account, which is distributed by day 3 or day 5 into these other 3 accounts. It's just receiving and giving money to other accounts. That's what it does. The last account, right, which is the wealth account, that one is divided into 3. Awaka, welcome, and Yay, welcome here as well. Welcome here. The last account, the wealth account is what? The wealth account is divided into 3. It could be 3, it could be 4, but no, it's actually 4. I would say 4, dependent, because 2 of them, right? 2 of them you might have control over, 2 of them you don't have control over. One of them is your 401k, which is with your employer, but I would typically, which is with your employer, 401k. So if your employer is doing 401k and they are matching a certain percentage, 3%, 1%, or whatever, match it to whatever the employer is giving you. Anything 1%, 6%, that is the max. A lot of time people do this wrong. A lot of time people do it wrong. They will put so much money in the 401k, and I say you're not doing it the right way, because that 401k, they put, not that they put so much, they put all of their investment, which is the traditional way. People typically have 2 accounts out of all these things that I'm saying. They will typically have their checking account and they have the 401k, and they feel that, oh, you know what, I have invested. No, you don't. That's not you're not, okay? What you should do is your wealth account should be your 401k matched to whatever your employer is matching. 3%, 5%. And then once you get to that match, right? Then you do the next thing that you do is give me 1 second. How do I do this? Okay, I don't know. So the second thing that you do, the second account that you open is Roth IRA. That's the second one, and that is, it brings you to like less than that brings you to less than so the max that you can do in a year is 7,500. Why do I not tell you to put everything in 401k and I say match it to what your employer is giving you and put some in Roth IRA? The thing about understanding that both of them are retirement account, the difference between the two is that one is more of a tax advantaged account than the other. Your 401k is not so much of a tax advantage account. What you are getting there is the benefit from your employer, right? That's all that you are getting there. That's the growth that you're getting there. Roth IRA, on the other hand, is a tax advantage account. What does this mean? It is taxed at the source. So at the beginning, unlike your 401k, that is not taxed, okay? But it's going to be taxed later. And you might be wondering, so what's the difference? If they tax it now, they tax it later. The difference could turn to hundreds and hundreds of thousand, really. Now, because now you are not being taxed. But guess what? Now let's assume that you contributed 100,000. Your 100,000 becomes, and you contributed 70,000. Your employer matches it, and you get 30,000 from your employer. Bring it to 100,000. If that 100,000 becomes 1 million, right? From you put it in S&P 500 for 40 years or for 30, 25 years, it becomes $1 million. That $1 million is going to be taxed at retirement at whatever rate it is, at the distribution time, right? That is what you are going to get taxed at that time. So your $1 million can become 750,000 if you are in a 25% bracket. If you are in a 20% bracket, you get 800,000. So that means that no, that's after the growth. So basically capital gain tax is what you pay on any growth above that 100,000, right? However, with Roth IRA in itself, let's assume that yes, it is taxed at the source, and you put 700,000, or you put 70,000, or you put 100,000, it's taxed at the source. What you would get, and let's say it gets to $1 million, what you get is $1 million. It is not taxed. It is taxed at the little amount when you are putting it in, but the growth is not taxed. So that's why it makes more sense to put your money in the Roth IRA. That's why there is a limit to what you can put every single year when it comes to Roth IRA. Okay, it's 7,500, and it's not, if you're a high income earner, you probably don't qualify for it. You don't qualify, okay? All right, you do not qualify for it. Yeah, but you can also still, there's something called backdoor IRA. So if you are making over 150,000, or your income as a family is, doesn't fall within that rate, there's something called backdoor IRA, backdoor Roth, that you can also do, and you use the strategy where you pay the taxes on your money now, and then from there you build your wealth. You start growing it in Roth. Okay, so that is also a strategy. So you have one in your wealth account, you have your 401k, you have your Roth IRA. Then the next one that you have is your brokerage account. This is all. The Roth IRA and the 401k is for your retirement, right? When you are old, when you're gray and you are retiring, you're no longer working 59 and a half, that's when you can get the money. You can get it earlier, but you will get some penalties, okay? You get some penalties when it comes to the Roth IRA. If you take it earlier. Now, which one can you put your money and do not get penalized? You don't get any penalty. That's the essence of the brokerage account. So you still want to grow your money. You want to, and because you need to, because you it's not, when we say financial freedom, you're not waiting to the later years to when you're old. You want to wear a bikini now. You can wear a bikini now. You cannot wear it at 65. You can wear it at 70. So you want to still be present and enjoy the life right now. So how do you grow your money? Put it in a brokerage account, and you grow it in the brokerage account. You can take the money at any time, even though you're going to be taxed. Your capital gain will there's a capital gain tax on it, but you grow it right there. Mr. How do you initiate backdoor Roth IRA with your employer? This is not going to be with your employer. You are going to be the one. It's going to be under self-directed. You will be the one to do your backdoor Roth IRA. Okay, you will do it with. You can call Fidelity and ask them that you would like to do backdoor Roth IRA. So it's not like you're doing anything wrong, right? You can do it outside, but you have to do it yourself, not your employer. Your employer is not going to do it for you, okay? Even ideally, I would even say your Roth, if you can, have some of them to have some of them to be outside of your employer. All right. So having said that, brokerage is the same only one, right? Your brokerage account is the only one that you can take it without any penalty, and you just pay your taxes and you can enjoy now. Remember, whatever I teach, to talk about long-term investing. I talk about enjoying yourself now, being present, right? Enjoying yourself and not at old age. That is why I still talk about financial freedom. I'm not one of those people that tell you money, money, money. No, I talk about freedom, like living life at your own terms, because they're two different things. If all you do is trading your time for money, and it means that you are taking your time away and you're making money, but you're trading your time and your life for it. Now, what I teach is an holistic life, a life of freedom, right? Living life at your own terms. So being present is part of what I teach. And you see this brokerage, that is the present, because you can go on vacation. Because think about it, you have hundreds, you have 10,000, your 10,000 becomes 20,000. You can easily take 2,000 and take a trip, right? Take a trip and go even on a vacation. That is how you do. That's how you enjoy your life, because it's not your 10,000 that you traded your time for. It's your money that works for you. It's a different feeling whenever it is not you that worked for that money. It's your money that created the money that you're using to enjoy your life. And that is what is called the real freedom, right? Freedom, because it's the cash flow, the flow of cash, the flow from your own cash that you invested. Which one do you use for a trio? Yes, so that's the third one. The fourth one is HSA, right? That's your health savings account. So you need to have your health savings account as well. You said trip. Which one do you brokerage? Brokerage is what you use for your trip, right? Not just trip, basically. I'm just saying for your now, right? Instead of you saying that you have to walk, right? Walk now. I mean, most of the time, whenever you want to fund those lifestyle, you want to buy a purse, you want to buy a car, what do you basically do? You work for the money, right? And then you use the money to fund the life, right? That's what you do. But I'm saying that no, you can put your money in a brokerage account. Brokerage account grows your money, put it in an S&P 500, return 18% last year. Think about it, 10,000. If you put 10,000, we'd have gotten 1,800. 1,800 is enough for a vacation from one to Mexico, for instance, for the weekend. And you're good. Something of that nature. Your principal is still there, but it's your money that works for that trip. Isabel said, so is there a minimum account required to open a broker? Absolutely not, right? And that's why we are here, right? I'm just jumping the gun because Mr. Ben asked the question, and that's why we went the route of opening all of these accounts, right? You do not require, as a matter of fact, you can open the account right now. Open it doesn't require funding, right? I mean, you just need to fund it, basically. Put $1 there and buy whatever we buy. And that's the purpose of that's all about today, right? All about today. If you haven't followed, follow. If you haven't subscribe. And let's tap out the live. Let's get it to 10,000. Any other question? So just for the people that just joined, the 4-account system that will help you win with money. And you don't have to you don't have to increase your income. You don't have to reduce. This one does not mean you're not changing your lifestyle, right? Changing your lifestyle is part of the process to build wealth, though, right? Because if all that you do is you use your money to fund depreciating lifestyle liability, what you realize is that you will continue to have to work, right, to fund that lifestyle. But what you're supposed to do, or the shift, right, is you take some of the money, you put it in depreciating lifestyle liability, which is, your rents, utilities, all those things that you do. Put some, right? Some for the things that are important, right? But they are liabilities. Anything that takes money from you is liability, right? But then you put it towards something that is going to put money in your pocket, like asset. It's called appreciating cash flowing asset. Anything that is going to flow cash, your money that is going to flow, right? Flow another cash for you. Something like what I just described. And that is how you grow your wealth. So that is the shift, right? However, these 4 accounts, if you do these 4 accounts in itself will provide clarity, and you will understand, okay, are my expenses too much? You would see things will get clearer for you when it comes to your expenses. right there. It's because if you have your income account, right, and then the income account, you have your expense account, and all this, by the way, when you have the income account, you automate it such that your income account funds your bills account, right? Because now you know how much it costs, right? You put, if it's $3,000, once the money gets into that account, you do, automated that, go to account, IU savings account, name it. I use savings account for bills, right? It's 3,000 every single month. You take it, it goes there. Then the other one, oh, the emergency fund account. Because I'm growing it, I've not gotten my 3 months or 6 months. Okay, $500 goes into this account automatically from the bills account, and then you now say, okay, for my wealth account as well. Okay, they have already deducted 401k at source, but I need to put my $625, $315, 312.50 because 7,500, 625 per month. Every 2 weeks is about 315, right? So every that one, so you automate it such that you want to get the 7,500 per year. You automate that one, it goes into that account as well. And then you have your brokerage account, because once you do this, you now see what you have left, and then you put it in the brokerage account, and it's growing. Trust me, you want your money, it goes like that. You realize that you don't have money left over in your income account, and then you realize that because all the bills are taken care of, then if somebody comes to you, like you have those African taxes that comes, right? If you have not taken care of this, the African taxes needs to wait. But guess what? If everything is lumped up in this single account, you think that you have money, but in real sense, you realize that you don't have money, right? But when you automate it and you set up and you structure it this way, you realize that, yes, I have extra. Because right now, for all you care, you might not even be making as much for your income, for your lifestyle, the lifestyle that you're living. Please, how do you open a brokerage account? We are getting there. We're getting there right now. We're getting really there right now. All right. So those are the accounts that you need to open and for your structure. Okay. And okay, so for your brokerage account, and this is where we're going, this is what is called smart investing. So because that's one of the things, because when you open the for the brokerage account, you can actually open any of these investment investment house, a brokerage firm, Fidelity, Schwab's, or what's it called, Robinhood. If you're in Canada, Wealth Simple, Trading 212, and all of that. So you can open any of those, right? Any of those. And for anyone that wants to get started, you don't know how to go about it, you're a beginner investor, you don't know. I have a smart investing workshop. It's free. It's a live training. It's a workshop, not a class, where I'm going to be teaching all this for free, right? Hands on. You need to get your laptop. You get an email with all the list of the brokerage account that you can open, all of the options that if you're in Africa, you're in Europe, you're in the Canada, anywhere you are, you have the list right there that you can actually utilize and you can use to build your income, right? I mean, that you can use, right? That workshop is coming, it's live, and you would, because I hear this every time, which brokerage account should I open? Another question is, how do I open it? Another thing is that, which investment should I buy? Because it's not just for you to open the account, it's of you to also fund the account and put it in the right investment portfolio, like have the right set of portfolio that is suitable for you such that your money is growing. Okay, right? Because I get this every time. People are confused. How do I get started? I'm too scared to put my money. Another thing is that they think that, oh, you know what? It takes a lot of money. It only takes $1, right? Because brokerage account, you can open the brokerage account. What grows it is when you invest it, right? And what sort of investment, right, do I talk about? It is called smart investing. Nobody is investing for you. You are investing by yourself. You are choosing by yourself. And why do I know that these works? Now, we're talking about your Roth IRA now, like this account, your Roth IRA, because you're thinking, okay, now I open my Roth IRA, now I open my brokerage account. So what should I put in this brokerage account? Thinking that because it's just an account, it's just your account, you need to put money in there. So when you put money in there, if the money is just sitting there, it's not growing, okay? But what should you buy to help it grow. Okay, that is what we're going to be talking about. So one thing about this strategy, or whenever I say smart, it's not just investing. Whenever I say smart, it simply means one thing. It simply means that you saving your money, and not saving your money, but not losing your money, having your principal. So it's not get rich quick scheme, but it is something that is consistent with trend, with data. So think about it. Maybe you would have heard it. It's nothing so special. It is also something called ETF, exchange traded fund, index funds. You probably would have heard that, or you probably would have heard S&P 500, or if you have not heard that, you'd have heard VO. Okay, all of them, right? It's basically, why do people rave about this, or why does the multimillionaires or the billionaires, or why do Warren Buffett recommend this to grow wealth? Because that's one of the strategy to grow wealth, right? They call him the Lord of Investing. Why? It's because it helps you to beat your money consistently. It helps you to grow your money over time without you losing your money. All right. Chances, I mean, whenever it comes to investing, there is the risk, right? There is the risk when it comes to investing. But with this one, the risk is pretty minimal, right? Based on the trend. So like an S&P 500, which is an example, one out of the hundreds of ETF that we have, hundreds of it, out of it, it has returned 8 to 12% averagely for the past 30, 40 years. Average, emphasis on average. So there are times when it has returned 32%, there are times when it has returned 4%, 2%. However, when you look at it averagely for a, let's say, a period of 5 years, a period of 10 years, so remember, it's long-term investing, medium to long-term investing, over time, right, you realize that it has returned 8 to 12%. Like last year, it returned 18%. So it simply means that your 10,000 that you have in Bank of America simply gave you $1 because you put it there and it gave you 0.01%, which is $1. If you had put the same amount of money in your S&P 500 in your brokerage account, in an S&P 500, you would have gotten $1,800. $1, $1,800. That is $17.99 more than whatever you are currently getting. It might not double your money in 1 year. It is not doubling your money in 1 year, but it is growing your money. So think about it. If you are doing it like that consistently every year, there's something called the rule of 72. Your money would double in 7 years or less. In 7 years or less. So if that is your plan, then this is for you. Not a get rich quick scheme, but keeps your money safe, but growing it. Understanding that this is one strategy that the multimillionaires and the billionaires use. Awesome. I know we are locked in, but can we all tap out the live? Can we tap out the live? Isabella, Buki, Mayalistic, Yeye, User, El Shaddai. Can we all tap out the mic? JD, Mr. Ben, let's all tap out the live, and every other person. I know we're doing good. Yesterday, we got to 60,000 taps, and can we do that today? Can we beat the 60,000 taps? And we even had lesser people yesterday, right? I know we are locked in. Whenever we talk about money, finance, health and all of that, a lot of times people are super locked in, taking their pen. While I appreciate that, we also need to but the thing about it is that the algorithm on the other end is, the algorithm just also doesn't know. Algorithm assume that you are not finding it valuable. That's why you are all quiet. The algorithm wants it for us to push it out there. The algorithm wants to see reaction, questions. So ask questions. If you have any question, do not hesitate to stop me, and let's tap it out. Let's keep tapping out the live. Ajay, thank you so much for the love. Ajay, for you to tap out the live, it's tap, tap, tap the screen non-stop, right? Non-stop, tap, tap, tap the screen non-stop. What is the point of building a credit if you choose to live debt-free? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if you choose to live debt-free, absolutely, then by all means, you really don't need to build the credit. But guess what? You might need credit from some other things, right? So if you are renting a house, if you are living debt-free, doesn't include your mortgage. So you have a house paid off, right? A house paid off. So that's what it means. Because if you're saying debt-free, it means that, you know what I mean? If you have your house paid off, then sometimes your credit is a requirement. Yes. So if you want, if you are debt free I mean, if your home is already paid off, yeah, by all means. But if you need a mortgage, you want to you or you are renting a house, it's part of the rental requirement. If I want to rent a house to someone, I need a good credit. At the minimum, even with our properties that is at the low end, I need at least 630 to 650 credit. So if you are paying, you don't need, I mean, you will need it for rental, you will need it for mortgage, even if you do not need it for any other thing, right? If you don't need it for any other thing, and it's just better for you to have it, okay? So that's just it. Manual underwriting to buy a house, manual underwriting to buy a house. So are you saying that you're using creative financing to buy a house, right? Because if you're going to I'm not sure what that is. If you're talking creative financing, I would understand. Maybe you can elaborate on that. I'm learning to, so but if you're going to be using a mortgage and all of that, I mean, you want to just build the credit, right? That's the only thing I do not agree with Dave Ramsey. I understand all of that, but in the current day and age, people, you need that credit. If you are renting a house, if you are you're buying a house, you need that. And if you intend to invest in real estate, which is one of the pillars that I talk about, except you're using cash, always your credit is actually required, because your interest rate is going to be heavily dependent. Your interest rate is going to be heavily dependent on your credit, right? Your credit, because that's what shows your credibility with the lender. Okay, so but good question, amazing question. And I encourage everyone to ask question. My pastor told me last week that he doesn't like the way I eat. Okay, well, yeah, I'm not a pastor, so deal with your pastor, okay? But so good to have you. Subscribe if you haven't. We're talking about smart investing right here. Awesome. Great. Perfect. Oh, thank you so much, Boki, for also that perspective as well. Credit history is a requirement for certain things. So very good input. Awesome. So having said that, where are we? Okay. All right, smart investing. So ETF is basically exchange traded funds, right? That's a way where you're growing your money, but at the same time, thank you so much for the roses. That's a way you can basically like, okay, you know what? I'm growing my money, but I'm not losing it. The principal is secured, but I am also growing my money. Okay, so great. So what is ETF? ETF is, and this is what you have in your brokerage. Remember the account that we open when you fund it, meaning what, $1, $5, whatever. When you do it, what you basically, once you have it funded, what you basically would now need to go ahead to buy an asset. What is that asset you're buying? You're buying an ETF. What is an ETF? An ETF is you buying a basket of stock instead of you buying individual stock. That's it. So don't let anybody complicate it for you. It's called exchange traded fund, ETF, right? And the difference is you either buying a stock or you are buying basket of stock. 1 versus 5 or 500, 1,000, 3,000, that's just the difference. So that's basically the difference between it. So why are you going to buy one stock versus buy a basket? Because here the risk here is minimal compared to here. So think about it. You can buy one stock and lose all your money on the stock. However, you can, if you're buying 500 stock, the chances of all 500 stock goes down is pretty low. All right. So think about it. The popular one, S&P 500. I keep using that as an example because it's pretty popular. It's the top 500 companies in the United States at point in time. All right. What does point in time means? It simply means that they are reevaluated every single quarter. They are checked. So the companies, these top 500 companies that you have this quarter, doesn't mean that they will be the next quarter. In the next quarter, they will be the next 500. It's about their performance. It's about their revenue, their profit, their cash flow, all of everything, right? Encompassing. So it's something that a lot of companies want to fall in that category because it just shows that you are the best in class organization companies in the United States. So it's a race for the best of the blessed. Think about it as an employee that is rated one, exceeding expectation. That is that category of that kind of company. So that is where you are investing into. So why is this very important to make it very clear? So whenever you are investing in this company, in this ETF, right, you are investing in the best of the best companies in the United States. So why does the multimillionaires and the billionaires, why do they put their money in, right? That's the reason, because they are putting their money betting against the best companies, the top 500 companies in the United States. You can do the best 100 companies in the United States as well. So you can do the entire US stock market. That's an ETF right there. So for the one that is pretty popular, so you see the S&P 500, which is like a VOO. They call it VOO, the Vanguard. That's very popular. Another popular S&P 500 ETF is SPY. Another one that's not so popular but does so well as well is IVV. All of them, they track the same S&P 500. The only difference is because it is owned by different brokerage firms. Remember the brokerage account. Brokerage account, you are opening it with brokerage firms, right? So one of the brokerage account that I mentioned earlier was what? Vanguard. Vanguard owns VOO. S&P 500. 500. So top 500 company. S&P 500. Top 500 company in the United States. Okay, okay, awesome, great, but great question. S&P 500. So think about it. That is the top 500 company in the United States. So VOO trust the S&P 500, owned by Vanguard. SPY is another one for the intermediate investors, right? For those ones that one, SPY is owned by a brokerage firm called State Street, which you can also open your account with them, right? Another one is IVV. I think that one is BlackRock. All of them has returned averaging the same thing. The thing about it is that it's who owns it, like the brokerage firm that manages the portfolio. When I say own, it means the brokerage firm that manages that S&P 500, that fund. You remember, it's a fund, right? That manages it. They have, for them managing that particular fund, they get a fee, right? They get a fee of 0.03%, another one 0.02, 0.05, but it's pretty minimal. And they've returned almost the same thing. About last year, one returned about 17 point something, another 18.1. So your return is almost going to be around the same thing. So whichever one, but the most beautiful. So why is the rave about it? That's because there is trend, there is data, which is averagely return 8 to 12% in the past 30 years, in the past 40 years. Can you withdraw your money from this account whenever? Absolutely. So you are trading it like it's a stock. So even when you open your account right now, so for instance, if you open a Fidelity account, what you would see is that they would say stock or ETF, right? The only thing is, so you see there, whenever you want to trade, you say stock or ETF. The same way you trade stock, that's how you trade it. Just think about it. The only difference is you are buying, whenever you click on buy, is one stock. And whenever you click on buy with ETF, it's multiple stock in that basket, right? Multiple stock in that. That's the only difference. You can buy it right there. You can sell it as we speak right now. This is before 3 p.m., right? You can still buy it now and you can still sell it before 3 p.m. and you still get your funds in your account. That's how liquid it is. Now, there is the other part of it, right? Which is like the index funds. They're like potatoes, right? Potatoes, because they're the same thing, tracks S&P 500 as well, right? I mean, it's just the same one. But the only thing is that index fund, it's when the at the end of the day, or the end of the trading cycle, like the end of the day, that's when you get your money, right? But if you want something like, I want to sell my money, sell it now and get it just like stock. Hello, how are you? Welcome, subscribe if you haven't. You want your money, just do simple ETF, right? So and that's just the difference. So, and for like S&P 500 for index fund owned by Fidelity is FIXAIX, something of that nature. That's just it's still, and they return decently as well, averagely decent, because they track the same top performing 500 companies. That's it. So S&P 500 is the very popular one. Let's keep tapping out the live. Let's get it to 10,000. I know we are all listening. I know we are all locked in. Today's my happy birthday, Isabella. Ellen, welcome back. And I'm talking to the people on YT. Okay, welcome back and subscribe if you haven't. And for all those that are here on TikTok as well. Please, let's tap out the live. Let's share the live, and as well, and what's it called? Let us follow if you haven't followed. Follow if you haven't done that. All right. And if you haven't gotten your daily at me, you've been sitting there for 10 minutes. Get your daily at me right there. Get your daily at me. It just helps the ranking of this live. And then that's how the algorithm knows us and it brings more people to this live. But really appreciate you all sticking around. I hope you are learning one or two things. So S&P 500, but please, as we are locked in, let's keep tapping out the live. I know whenever it comes to finance, whenever it comes to money, people are locked in with their pen and paper. So I can imagine I'm seeing you. You're good. You guys are good students. You're learning all of that. But let's just not stop tapping, because that's the only way algorithm knows that you're here and is pushing more people here to come learn it. It takes the same effort to teach 100 people, to teach 10 people as well. And that's how we make life a better place. Okay, so you are also helping, you're paying it forward, you're helping others. And that's why I keep asking this, that we tap out the life, we share out the life, and we can we share up the life, tap out the life, and at the same time. So tapping is, you can do it non-stop. There's no limit. Just keep touching your screen non-stop. Don't do it one time. Just keep doing it non-stop, as long as you're here, and in no time we will get to 50,000 if we keep doing that. But really appreciate. I hope you're learning one or two things. So basically, ETF is that's one example, right? ETF, S&P 500. There are so many of them. You can decide to buy the entire US stock market that has returned about 11% as well. You can decide to say, okay, I don't even want the US market. I want the international market. You can do that. They are different. There is, you can have medium cap, you can have small caps, you can, different ones, because S&P 500 is large capital organizations, right? Right. You can add medium, you can do energy. There is real estate. There's so many of them. There are so many of them that you can actually start you can buy in terms of ETF. Another one, just to add another one to it, Nasdaq 100. That's top technology companies in the United States as well. Top 100 technology companies. So you have companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and you would see that there's some of them that is going to overlap the S&P 500, because most of these companies too, you will find them in the S&P. They are the top performing companies in the United States, like the Microsoft, the Amazon, all of those kind of companies are what, and that is QQQM. You can also do SCHD if something that you want cash flow, you would have SCHD. If you also want something like real estate, right? Without buying real estate, you can also do what's it called? You can also you should do REIT, right? ETF for REIT, right? ETF for REIT. That is real estate. All right. All right. So, and that's it, right? We talked about the 4-account system. Yeah. And what are the 3 ways, right? Why do people talk about ETF? Why should you buy individual stock versus, why should you buy ETF versus individual stock? Because guess what? It helps with diversification. Remember what I said earlier? Your savings, there's the thin line between you saving your money and losing your money, right? When you put it in the stock market, you bring it into the exposure of you ability to lose your money. But what you do not to lose your money, the not losing it part, is that ETF, because diversification is what helps you not to lose your money. Diversification. What does diversification mean? It simply means that you are putting your money, just buy $100. You're putting moving silence, welcome. And every other person that just joined, welcome. And let's tap out the live. Isabella, Buki, Ajay, I am Mabel. I am Belle. I am Bill. Did you send me a message? I am Bill. Yeah, you said you wanted to do I am Bill or something. Oh, I remember you now. I remember you now. El Shaddai, Mayak, it's so good to have all of you back. It's so good. But let's keep tapping out the life. Let's share the life. Let's get it to $10,000. Dollars. Let's get it to 10,000 likes. Okay, let's keep tapping out the life. Let's get it to 10,000 likes. Really appreciate that. Okay, so basically diversification, because think about it, if you put your money in one stock you can lose all your money, but if you put it in multiple, you diversify your portfolio, you spread your risk. With your $1, with your $100, you can buy you can buy all 500 top companies in the United States and get the 18% return like last year, right? So then the other thing is that it helps with long-term growth. This is not for somebody that wants a penny stock, or I mean, you want day trading, you want all of that. No, this is not for you. This is for people that want to build long-term wealth, long-term investing, continual cash flow. This is what that is for. The other thing is that it reduces your risk, because now you spread your risk. Your risk of losing everything, it's pretty low. And instead of you picking individual, it's the risk is lower than picking individual stock. And then for a beginner investor, instead of you trying to pick and choose, the job is already done, right? With that basket, because whenever you already have all the 500 companies in one basket, you already have 1,000 companies. If it's just energy, you already have all of that in one basket. And that is what is called smart investing. And note that one thing that is very important with this strategy, it is what is called your time in the market, because that's what's going to help you grow your money. Time in the market, not you timing the market. Okay, time in the market. What does this mean? It means that the more time you spend in the market, you in the stock market, the more you get, the more returns that you get. So think about it: you get 18% this year. Next year you get 19%, 20%. The other year, year after, you get 11%. Another year you get 9%. Guess what? Your money is going to double as quickly as possible. Of course, one thing I know is that your money will double in 7 years, and if you put it in the bank account, in the Bank of America, your money is going to double in 144 years, which is what it takes. I mean, your money can never double in the bank, even with in your lifetime, basically. Just simply put, if you leave your money in the bank, your money will not double in 144 years. And yeah, because all that you get is 0.01%. Do the calculation, you will understand we got about the 144 years. So the one other thing is that you don't want to wait. You don't want to keep waiting, because every single day that you wait, one of the biggest thing I see every time is, yes, I did, and okay, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the biggest thing that I see is that people always procrastinate, right? People procrastinate. People want to, like, okay, I'll do it next week, and it never happens, right? Some of us, right, we've been talking about, but I've been meaning to invest, and this thing that I mean, probably some of us joined this life because Beth, thank you so much for the follow. Some of us joined this life because you're like, this is what I've been wanting to do for the past 5 years. Let me listen. But guess what? You might also listen again and not take action. All right. And that's why we do have the smart investing workshop, just so you don't have to keep saying that I will do it tomorrow. That's why it's a workshop, and it's not for you to, it's a workshop, not a class, not for you to also listen and not do it. It's execution, but it's free. Registration is required. It's May the 2nd and 12 noon Central Time, right? It's free, but registration it's absolutely required. We have few seats that are left, okay? So if you're one of those people, you just scroll this live when you were going through FYP, right? You just say, oh, who is this lady in orange, right? Welcome here. I'm Dr. Lina. I'm Doctor of Business and Technology. I've been investing close to 2 decades, been in corporate America close to 2 decades, investing in real estate for over a decade, and I'm a wealth coach. I'm a serial investor, and I help you turn your 9 to 5, that's your income, into real wealth, okay? Because if you keep it in the bank, you're not growing it. What grows it is when you turn it around, you invest it, right? that is when you start in, that is how you grow your wealth. And thank you all for tapping out the light. Really appreciate that. So one thing is waiting too long. So the smart investing workshop on the May 2nd is going to end at your wait is over. So you waiting, procrastinating for the past 5 years, whatever. Your wait is over because it's going to be hands-on. The only thing is that you need to follow the steps in that particular. It's a live session, right? So you're sitting there, bringing your laptop, you're getting it all started. All of the accounts that you need to open, recommendations, and you can also go and do your own recommendation, or you've opened the account. If you haven't opened, you would have between now, once you register today, you have between now and next week to get your account open. So once you get into live, all you're doing is to have your brokerage account and your Roth IRA, and you start buying the stocks based off of, or the ETF based off of a buffet. There you see, this is good for you. This is good for this age group. This is good for people, beginner, something of that. Then you make choices. You say, can I find ETF in a brokerage? Oh, absolutely. Brokerage account is just like your bank account. Let me explain. Brokerage account is more like a bank account, but it's not for saving money, it's for investing. Just think about it. So the same way you can open a brokerage account, and in that brokerage account, you can decide to pay your bill out of it. You can decide to pay your cano, do ACH. You can do so many things. So in that brokerage account, you will buy the ETF in the brokerage account. As a matter of fact, the reason why you're opening a brokerage account or your Roth IRA account is because you want to buy stock or you want to buy ETF. Okay, Bookie? The brokerage account is for purchasing stock. No, it's not. See, when you go there in Fidelity, you would see. Okay, let's do something.